What's up, guys? It's Trash Barra here to do a review for Rocket Punch Army, and today we have the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Cup. Wasn't originally going to buy any more Prime figures, but this one was actually kind of cool because it doesn't really look very cartoony. It kind of looks like a Generations figure. The first major disappointment upon getting this was the size, which, to be honest, is very, very, very tiny. Here we have a decently sized Wheeljack deluxe figure from the same series, and take a look. Like I said, it's a decent deluxe size, not too bad. And then look at Cup. So yeah, big size difference. This is supposed to be a truck. As a matter of fact, if we have the Generations Cup stand here, look at it, just towers over this thing like it's just ridiculous. Kind of too lazy to transform this into truck mode, but you guys will know just by the size of my hand that this is very tiny. Here's some other vehicle modes to compare it to. We got the Special Ops Jazz from Reveal the Shield and the Red Alert from Generations, both of which are not open at the moment, so I'm sorry, that's all I have right now. But you'll see, again, very, very small. So both figures back here were much cheaper than the new Cup or the new Prime figures. And I know the prices have only recently jumped, but I mean, even before the price jump, they were still around 15, 16 bucks. And this guy ran me a cool $18.99, which I don't plan on keeping for that price, but I did want to show you guys a review. So what I'll do is probably find it cheaper and then return the one I buy somewhere else and keep this one. So that's just a little trick that I do when I find something cheaper. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and turn this into robot mode. And it's actually pretty cool. I mean, when I saw this here, which didn't really show you guys, the pickup part of it, it's kind of ugly. You know, it's got a big gap in there, which is kind of weird. It would have been nice if they would have put something here that pegs into these holes, which they actually do have, which is this here. Let's see, pop that in here, like so. It's these two little blaster things, which is cool. It still leaves the gap in there, but it kind of takes, you know, the distraction of that hole being there away. But it would have been cool that, aside from having this there, it would have been nice to have like some sort of flat panel that goes over and pegs in there, and maybe even use it as a shield. So anyway, we're going to get back to the transformation. Let's see if I remember how to do this. I know this front part pops up here like that. Bring that forward. Then separate this here. Kind of just doing my own thing, but still works. Let's see. Bring the legs up, then kind of bring this crotch piece forward. Let's see if I can do that. There you go. That crotch piece just comes down like so. This forms the legs here. Kind of see where this is going. Got the arms. Now when I first saw the arms like this, I was like, oh, just reminded me of that arachnid thing, except these the arachnid Prime figure, except the hands don't swivel out or anything. And I really thought this was what the hands were going to be like, and I just thought that was pretty bad. But in actuality, this folds in, it forms the forearm, and you do the same on the other side. There you go. Spin that around, make sure the wheels are out back. Then the legs here, this panel goes up like so. You actually have to turn these, but again, flip the panel. Then the feet come out this way, fold them forward, and this hood piece has to like flex out of the way of the headlight, so you gently pull it on it like so. Try not to break it. There you go. And then push on his crotch to reveal the head, and push these shoulder pieces out. Bring this over the front like so, and it clips into these pegs here. Hope I'm not blocking you guys. Like that. This goes to the back, pegs into that hole. See that peg there? Goes right there. Like that. Then this panel goes like that. So you'll see he's got a really nice robot mode. Everything looks nice and proportioned. Spin him around. The only kind of annoying thing is this flap here hanging out back, but otherwise relatively clean. Got the wheels all facing rearwards. From the side profile, you don't really see a head. He's got these shoulder pieces here that are kind of blocking, but definitely a cool looking robot. I gotta say, it doesn't really look too much like what I would expect from a Prime figure. specifically when we take a look at the head sculpt. That's definitely not very prime looking. They've all got that weird kind of like really V-shaped chin with the little mouth and no nose and everything, but you'll see this is kind of it could pass for a Generations figure, really. It's got a lot of panel lines, a lot of detail here and there, just very, very nice. It's got even an Autobot logo, even though technically they were saying they weren't going to put logos anywhere since they are robots in disguise, but I mean, it's a Transformer. It kind of needs to have it. Whether or not they put it, I would eventually put one on anyway. And you can go ahead and take those blasters that were on the side of the truck mode. You can actually pop them in together to form a big gun, like so. And you'll notice the pegs are also right here on the arms. You can also peg them off to the side if you wanted. Face this that way, like so. There you go. So it's a neat little feature to have those pegs there and the hands. So if you have other weapons you can use them at the same time. So for articulation, we have the head very, very limited. It's not an up and down movement, it's just side to side. We got the shoulders out here. We got the swivels, which is really just the ball joint there. The elbow. Hands are not going to move or spin. You're going to have to spin the whole forearm to do that. And you got ball joints in the hips here. Legs go forward a good amount. Decent knee action there. And then you have the ankles, the feet right here. Now, like we said before, the Transformer toys are actually getting a lot smaller than what we're used to. This is considered a deluxe figure. And not too long ago, this guy here was released. This is another deluxe figure from the Generations line, and it's the same character. So this is a KUP from the Transformers Generations line, and KUP from the Prime Revealers, Robots in Disguise version. And you'll see the height difference, probably a good inch. And you'll see just the quality of the Generations figure is by far a lot better. It seems to be a lot more detailed, a lot more paint apps. And although this is not the original head sculpt, this is the iGear head. You know, the original head is pretty decent. And we'll just take a look at these guys all around here, like so. So not bad. I wasn't going to buy any more Prime figures, but this one doesn't look very primey, so I picked it up. The only downside, really, aside from a couple of nitpicks, which I'm not even going to mention, is the price. The only place I had these was Kmart, and they had them at $18.99. So we went from paying $8.04 a couple years ago at Target to now looking to pay, you know, really 17 plus, and this is $18.99. You're talking about $19 for a small plastic, not as detailed as the figures that were originally $8. And I don't know, but yeah, so that's that. And I should have Rumble coming soon, so stay tuned for that. If you have any questions or comments, guys, please leave them below.